The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Live from Boston, Massachusetts, unscheduled with Les Skymo and the Dave. And Dave, I want to thank the military for all they do. God bless them and preserve our freedom, laying their lives down and they're taking parts of their life and setting it aside to serve this country. And the families go through quite a bit, waiting on their loved ones to come home from deployment. And I thank all of them, Dave.
All the Korean War vets, and remember them too. They're bringing 55 caskets back from North Korea. They'll be landing in Hawaii shortly, or if they're not already landed. But yeah, we'd like to remember all those families too. Absolutely.
And I was thinking about that when I seen them. What a grueling process that would be to identify all of them. And are they going to? I don't know. Maybe you can answer this. Okay, and it depends on if the bones come out of a single grave, in each individual grave, or if they were scattered and they just gathered them up and put them in the boxes. But now, are they going to do a DNA test on every bone?
The way I understand it is, in Hawaii, what they do is if they have a skull and that skull has teeth in it, they can take the teeth out, drill down through the pulp of the tooth into the center of the tooth, and they can find intact DNA. That's my understanding, unless the technology's changed, but that's about the only way you can really determine the DNA of a person is because if you're down to just nothing but bone,
right?
The DNA deteriorates by bacteria, and that causes it to disintegrate. So you really can't get a good chain of DNA to determine who the person is.
Right.
So if they can get an intact skull and they pull a tooth out and they drill inside that tooth where no bacteria can get into, they can extract good DNA. So, and if they have family records of DNA records from sons and daughters, and even maybe some parents might still be alive, but I kind of doubt it. But if you're a Korean vet right now, you'd be in your mid-70s. So you can figure that there's not too many parents alive, so they'd have to go by children or brothers and sisters.
Right. Yeah.
So that's about the only way you could get a DNA match is by checking brothers and sisters and family members, direct bloodline members.
Well, now, what about the rest of the bones, though? I mean, feet bones, finger bones, rib bones, and all that stuff.
In the marrow of the bone, it would probably be deteriorated also. It would be hollow from bacteria eating up the bone marrow, so you wouldn't really have much there. Got a little technical problem?
Yeah. I turned him up a little there, Jimmy. Sorry about that. But I guess I don't know how they would do that though, Dave, to match them up. It would be so difficult.
Well, it's basically the same thing as when you send your DNA into one of these private companies that tell you where you're from. They go by DNA. They just go by the DNA chains, which are exhibited in different cultures throughout the world. So they can pretty much tell by these different chains where you're from and how much of a nationality you are by looking at your DNA. And that's my understanding. The technology. It's been years since I've read anything on it, but they may have new technology now.
Right.
I don't know, but they have to have a sample.
Well, I'm sure that the family members will. There's like 7,000 MIAs, I think, and I'm sure the family members probably the government probably has a database since DNA come about.
Yeah, these aren't the first that they've checked. They've had some back in the 90s. They also checked, and I think they were successful in
about 250
identifying most of them. I think that they identified quite a few of them.
Yeah. That technology, man, I tell you, that DNA stuff is, but now that's wide open for abuse. Now, folks, if you want to call in, call at 1-800-508-5431, and questions, comments, and tell us what you think. We've had 2 callers, Dave, since I started my show, and I blew both of them. So, third time's a charm. So, hey, if you just want to call in and just say, hey, just call in, and we'd love to hear from you.
We'll even take a prank call if you want.
Yeah, we'll even take a prank call. We're desperate.
Do you have Prince Albert in a can?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dave, I want to send my condolences out to the Zen family tonight. Dear friend of mine, she was 76 years old. She passed away at Columbus Hospital last night, well, yesterday, matter of fact, and about 4:44, I think, was the actual doctor's time, and I was up there with her and the family. They called, and DJ, if you're listening, brother, I love you guys, and I will see you at her funeral. But you know, Dave, her husband passed away several years ago, and he was a Vietnam War veteran. He was a flight, what do you call them? He was on one of them puffs, you know, them big gunships, airships, I forget what you call them. But he was one of the flight crew. But anyway, he was a Silver Star recipient. They got shot down, and he drug the pilot and the co-pilot out of the burning plane, and he got hurt some. But you know, I mean, just a young kid himself. But Odell was a hero in my book, and but now we met them at a gas station. We went down there over to Jackson, Ohio, and a bunch of us to hunt, and went on an apple orchard. People let us come over and hunt on their apple orchard. Deer eating their apple trees up. But anyway, make a long story short, we met him. A couple of the boys went down to the store, get some gas, and met Dale at the gas station, and he said, I'll go get your friends. I live on the Waterloo Coal Company property. I've got thousands of acres. And boy, you know, to us, Dave, we were like kids in a candy store, brother. And we couldn't get loaded up fast enough. He told them, give us directions where he lived, and we was with that family over 30 years that we'd known that family, hunted on their property, their daughter's property, and I preached Dale's funeral several years ago, and which was that was hard to do, but it was a privilege, and it's going to be the same here with Carolyn. Carolyn, godly woman, good woman. She just loved her family and her kids, and they took us in just like family, Dave. But now when we first got there, and she found out Dale invited a bunch of yahoos to the house, first thing she told us, she said, now boys, she said, there's a squirrel and there's 2 deer that come down off that hill every evening up in my backyard, and you better not shoot my deer or my squirrel.
How would you identify him?
Well, that was
Did you know their names? You'd call out for them. What's your name?
We was going to worry about that when the time came.
Fred the squirrel.
But, well, she wouldn't let us hunt until we walked all the way up. It was like I don't know how many yards, but it was real steep. And the backyard went straight up. And we had to be on top of the hill before we could start hunting. So we had to walk up that big old monster hill. It was a couple 100 yards top of that big old hill. And then we could hunt. So, if we messed up, shot her little deer under her rules, I guess we'd have been okay. But, we was like, hey, that's okay, Carolyn. Whatever you say goes. And, but they're just wonderful people, man, And, one of the greatest things in life to me is meeting great people like that, Dave, So, but anyway, DJ, if you're listening, buddy, I love you, and we'll be seeing you later. And, Dave, I got this controversy right now on these guns. And they never bring this stuff up, the liberals don't, until you get a Republican president. And then they
talking about 3D printer guns.
Yeah. Costs $1,000 to what, $6,000-$7,000 for a printer, and they think some bunch of.
You got a drill. I got a little secret for you. You got a drill press, and you got some industrial grade nylon.
Yeah.
You can make your own.
Well, sure.
It's not that hard to do.
Yeah.
You don't need a 3D printer to make one.
You don't. Why go through all that? Just hit somebody in the head with a ball bat. Instead of fooling all that. There ain't nobody with intention to kill somebody or rob a grocery store going to run out here and pay at least $1,000 for a 3D printer, buy the plastic, which that high-grade plastic's out of this world.
Yeah, they're real. Everything's real expensive.
Well, yeah, and they're not going to go out and do all that just to make a gun to go rob the liquor store. It's ridiculous.
It would be. You're exactly right. It would be ridiculous. Unless you want to pull some kind of crime where you had to get through a metal detector, like on an airplane.
Well, still they got metal parts in them, Dave.
No.
Yeah, they got pins in them.
You can make them without metal, though.
Well, you might can, but you got a bullet in it. It's metal.
All you really, yeah, that's true. You got to have bullets. But the only thing is that you have to have the only part of it that should be metal is just the pin itself, the firing pin.
Yeah.
And that doesn't have to be big enough. It wouldn't be detected by a metal detector.
Well,
because it's so small. Your belt would disguise it.
Yeah, but
if you have a belt on.
You're gonna step into an X-ray machine. They're gonna find that. I don't care if it's made out of 100% plastic.
What I'm saying though is
X-ray machine's gonna show
it can be entirely made out of nylon and have rubber bands for your hammer. And it's a single shot.
Yeah, I know what
not,
you're saying. Yeah.
It's not automatic. It's not a revolver.
Good enough to get you killed.
You can fire one shot, but that's all you got. And you have, it's kind of tough to reload and rearm.
But now, who's going to try to take an airplane with a gun with one bullet in it?
No, you couldn't.
But this stuff. All the hysteria over it's just ridiculous.
If you, we saw Mitt Romney when he was in town, when he's running for president. We saw him down in Cincinnati, and they checked everybody. You had to go through a metal detector because security was pretty high.
Yeah,
they were checking everybody for weapons. You could have got through with that. You could get through with it because it wouldn't show up because there's a sensitivity control on those metal detectors. Which if you got a belt on or any kind of metal like in your glasses or whatever, my glasses are metal.
Yeah,
it won't go off because it's sensitive. It's for a high density metal,
right? Like
a piece of iron, big piece of iron,
right?
So that's why it won't kick them off. But you could get through with a weapon like that through a metal detector.
Yeah.
You could have it hit on you, and you could actually get through with it, and you could theoretically kill somebody, assassinate them.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you could. But the hysteria is, if you could throw a knife well,
sure,
you could do the same thing. But it's the hysteria is just off the chart, man.
That's only because Trump's president. If it was Barack Obama, was
Oh,
president,
it'd be totally
there wouldn't be
different
anything
story.
said about it.
Yeah, but so here, they're talking about legislation and wanting to restrict information on the internet because the guy that designed all that and stuff, he sued because they tried to keep him from publishing the design, and he sued them.
Oh, there's more
And-
designs out there than what he's got.
Oh yeah, well,
That's just one of many.
Yeah, that's one of many.
And you can probably go on the internet right now and find another
build a
one.
bomb.
Or you can find anything you want. But if you got a little mechanical knowledge, basic hand tools, and you buy the nylon. Nylon's about the best to use because it's so strong.
Yeah.
I mean, you can drill it out yourself with a drill bit.
Excuse me.
The barrel, and really the barrel and the breech is about the only problem you have as far as the thing kicking back on you. You have to lock it in, so your firing pin has to go in between, so that when you explode it, it doesn't come back in your face.
Yeah.
So you have to protect yourself somewhat from that. I've seen different designs and they all work.
Yeah, they all work, but here's another thing too.
They're not accurate.
Accuracy.
Yeah, they're not accurate.
You take a short barrel gun.
It's not rifled.
6 foot or closer is about the only chance you got.
You're right about that. You couldn't shoot anybody from distance. You'd have to be right up on them to fire it. Just know you couldn't rifle. You can't rifle the barrel because it's too soft.
Mm-hmm.
You just couldn't do it.
Yeah. Well, like I say, all this hysteria. I've been watching it all day on there. People just freaking out. Even Republicans are losing their mind about it, And but this is par for the course. It's election time, so they're going to start your lifers, the establishment. They're just like a drowning man. They just anything you throw up, they grab at it if they think it's going to cost them a vote. They'll get on that bandwagon or they'll get on this bandwagon, and you don't have too many of them that have any spine, man. Their morals is like a moving target. It's just whatever.
That's one thing about President Trump. He has a backbone, and he'll take them on.
Sure,
He'll take them on anything.
And
that's why they hate him so bad, because he takes them on.
Well, see, here's the thing.
He fights back. I like that.
Well, see, President Trump knows them. He's bought them. He said himself, Dave. He said, I know who they are. I know how they are. He said they are for sale. He said, I bought them myself. And I think it was a reporter he was talking to. And I seen that. I seen him when he said it. And they said, well, you mean something, I'm paraphrasing, something like, you mean these politicians are for sale? He said, yeah, Hillary come to my wedding, didn't she? And, but see, he, all his life, he has studied these people. He's seen these people. He's dealt with these people. He's had to get all the permits, jump through all the hoops. And, he's rubbed elbows with these people. He watched his dad do that, Dave. And so
yeah, you had to grease some palms to do any construction in
New York.
In New York City, because you just couldn't do anything. It was just stagnation. Because if you didn't know somebody in the government, from the mayor on down, you were in trouble as far as building a building. And he found that out pretty quick.
Well, sure, yeah.
Even Chuck Schumer took money from him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's that little old leech. He'd take money from Satan himself. He pretty much has, probably. But, now, you remember the skating ring they was building? Mm-hmm. And it was like, 4, 5, 6, 7 years into that, and it still wasn't done?
Mm-hmm.
So he got involved with it, picked up the phone, called a hockey team up in Canada. Hey, how y'all do this?
Well, you think about that. Now, he's...
Boom, 6 months, I think it was.
Yeah, President Trump knows if you want somebody that knows ice hockey is Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Who does the work for the Canadians?
Yeah.
Who builds the rinks and maintains them in Canada?
Right.
These people are specialists. They're the experts.
Oh, yeah, they're professionals.
So they came down and finished the job, did it perfect.
Oh, yeah.
In record time.
Yeah. I think it was 6 months, maybe, Dave.
Yeah, you got a bunch of people who don't know what they're doing trying to work on a project.
Oh, yeah.
They're just going to milk it for as much money as they can.
Union workers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Does that ring a bell? Yeah. You know.
I used to be one of them.
Well, I did too, and you know what? I'd come in. Now I'll tell you, this was fine as long as I was doing it, Dave. But when I got older and realized what it was doing to these companies, and Mom, put your fingers in your ears. I'd go into this factory, and I was in a well-known union, and I would go into there dog drunk. I was a spot welder, running a spot weld machine. All I could do was stand there and just sway back and forth and look at it. Union steward come up, put his arm around me. Oh, man, go out in the car, sleep it off. Don't worry about it. I got paid for that night after night after night, Dave. But, you know, when I was doing it, boy, that was okay. But when I got older and realized what I was doing, I was stealing from that company.
Sure.
Now, you do that, you look that is part of the demise that happened to General Motors. And I know that from inside information from several people, and union stewards, union bosses would tell me that's what part of what have collapsed General Motors. You know, was that kind of business. And sooner or later, Dave, you might run a company for 50, 60, 70 years. But as that increases, as your plant grows, your employees grow, okay, and this increases sooner or later, and you're paying somebody $35, $40 an hour for overtime, and when they're sleeping somewhere or playing cards somewhere, and there's no production, sooner or later, brother, you're going to collapse, you know. Mm-hmm. So
it's only a matter of time.
It's just a matter of time, you know. Turned the TV on the other day, and this idiot Mayor Como up there is pardoning a bunch of drug dealers, illegals, to try to keep them in the country. Do you believe that nonsense?
Yeah, I heard that.
It just, you know, there's drug dealing, there's DWIs, and there's a couple of them with assault, and I believe, David, I read somewhere where there was one of them that was like attempted murder or something like that. And I'm like, how in this world how can you do that, man, you know? And but that's all they think about. They're ed up with this stuff. And,
well, it's like I think it was an illegal alien out in California, in Los Angeles County or somewhere out there, had a knife to the woman's throat.
Right.
Which she was, I guess, a maid, looked like a motel. Mm-hmm. And she was just cleaning the rooms. And this guy was, I don't know why he was fighting with the cops, but he had a knife.
He had stabbed his girlfriend, I think, and she was in the house or one of the rooms.
Well, anyway, when the police responded, he's got a knife. And they said, drop the knife. And they wouldn't drop it, so they fired beanbags at him. And that didn't do any good. So he grabs a woman, puts the knife up to her throat, threatens to saw her head off, which I think he started doing, and that's when they opened fire on him, and they ended up killing both of them.
Right.
But you can't. The only fault I would give to the police is they didn't shoot soon enough with the live fire. Is what I fault them for, because the innocent life could have been saved, and this guy had no business being even in the country. My understanding is an illegal alien.
Yeah.
So. But you got to think that in the back of the cops' minds, they're thinking, well, if I do this, I might go to jail.
Right.
And they don't want to go to jail. They got families. They don't want to go pay a lawyer tons of money to fight this because they know everything's on video now. I think it was on their own cams that they were on them. So if everything's on video, what chance have you got?
Yeah. Well, now, Dave, I'll tell you, that brings me to this, that stand your ground law. Now, there was a guy, I watched the video, the guy, this man and woman, and their kids pulled up in this handicap spot, didn't have a handicap sticker. So the guy and his son got out, was in the store. So this guy that was out in the parking lot, he asked the woman, this conversation went on anyway. He was getting onto the woman for them parking in a handicap spot for no reason. So her husband heard the confrontation, or somebody went in and told him. I don't remember exactly how it went down anyway. You can see on the video, he comes out of the store, walks down to that guy, and he real violently shoves him down. Now, I couldn't tell if the guy was going to back off after he shoved him down or if he was going to come back at him. But the guy come out with a gun, shot him, and killed him. Now, they didn't press charges on him. Now, he used self-defense. He claims self-defense, but they're attacking the stand your ground law, and but he is saying, I thought my life was in danger, so I shot the guy. So I guess they're going to treat it like a stand your ground, under the stand your ground.
Let me get this straight. The guy that shot the guy, was he handicapped?
No, no, not that I know of now.
Was there anybody handicapped?
Not that I know of.
So they were just parking in the spot.
He was getting onto the guy's wife, for them parking in the handicap spot. Mm-hmm. He come out, her husband come out, shoved him down. I think he was like a 60-something-year-old man. He shoved him pretty hard.
So the guy that was complaining is the one that got shot and killed, about him parking in the handicap?
No.
It was the other way around?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the guy that was doing the complaining got pushed down, and he shot the man that pushed him down. He's claiming he was in fear for his life. Okay, and everybody's hollering about the stand your ground law. But here's my thing on that, Dave. Stand your ground law is the same identical thing law enforcement operates under. I was in fear for my life. I thought he had a gun, but he had a cell phone. They don't prosecute these cops. I thought he had a gun, but he had a bottle of pop. I thought it was a gun. Cop shoots him. They don't prosecute those police officers. It happens over and over and over. That is the same premise that we should have. We should, as long as we're conducting our lawful business out and about in society, we should have the same legal rights and protections that the police officers have. And if I think my life's in danger and I take another man's life, then the same goes for me that goes for those cops. And it's happened over and over and over, Dave. I thought he had a gun. And the police don't get prosecuted over that. Now, they shouldn't be no different than me. You know, if they hold me to a different standard than the police officer, when it comes to taking a life, may not be innocent.
Well, I see your point, but I also see the point that a police officer is a man of authority. If you see him, you see his badge, you see who he is. It's who he represents. He represents the state. He represents the county, the city, whatever. He's the authority. So if you offer violence against him and he shoots you, I can see that.
Oh, I agree.
I mean,
I'm behind him 100%. I mean,
if he thinks you have a gun, he's not going to. He wants to go home to his family also.
So do I.
But the individual though, they're equal. They're on equal terms. So it could be a free for all.
But what if I hesitate and I die? Because I'm afraid of getting prosecuted to protect my own life.
Well, I don't know.
Isn't my life, though, Dave?
It's an interesting question.
Don't you think? Oh, we got a call here. Hello, this is Unscheduled Les Skymo. Can you give me your first name and the state you're calling from, please?
Power on.
Hello? Hello? Turn that speaker on. Well, I guess they didn't want to talk. Okay. 508-5431. So call back whoever you was. And I don't know what happened there.
Got cut off, I think.
Yeah. But anyway, Dave, I understand what you're saying, and I respect the law enforcement, but not blindly. I respect a good policeman.
I mean, let's face it. If a cop tells you to do something, you're going to do it. That's the way I look at it. If he says, okay, put your hands up on the steering wheel where I can see him, I'm going to do that.
Well, sure.
I'm not going to reach down like I'm going under my seat to grab something. That would be crazy.
Right.
That's asking to be shot. You know, if I don't obey his orders and do exactly what he tells me to do, I'm taking my life in my hands is the way I look at it.
Well, and you're right. And that's where a lot of the trouble starts.
But see, you're out on the street, though. You're over here getting an ice cream cone. And a guy comes up and...
Hello, this is Unscheduled. Les Skymo and Dave. Can I have your first name and state you're calling from, please? Hello? Huh. Well, Penny, call me and make sure this thing's working. So, they're going to have to talk. If you guys call, you're going to have to talk. But anyway, you know, that's where the problem normally starts, Dave, is people, they want to give the cops a hard time. Now, I agree with you, you know, obey the law.
But, you know, you say, let's say I'm armed and it's at night and you can't really see very well. I'm over here getting ice cream cones. Somebody says, hey, you. And it looks like to me they got a gun. It looks like to me they're agitated. Now, am I going to pull a gun out and shoot this dude while he's coming out? I don't even know, you know, I don't know the situation. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
but
let me see here.
You could have a lot of accidental shootings.
Hello, Unscheduled. Les Skymo, your first name and state you calling from, please?
Don't hear nothing.
Nothing?
No.
Wow.
Don't hear a thing.
Got a malfunction here.
Got a malfunction, folks, so whoever's calling.
There you go.
Is it working?
Yeah, but it's... Hello?
Hello, you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Wow. You're not coming through my speakers, though.
Oh, sorry about that. I don't hear you.
Now see what you'll do.
Hello?
Coming through now?
I don't know. We got a problem here.
Well, here's what we're going to do. Unplug that and we'll go Bluetooth.
Bluetooth pairing.
Okay.
Fun me out.
That's all right.
Fun me out.
Having a little difficult here, ladies and gentlemen. These should pair up to the phone there. And, but yeah, Dave, I know what you're saying. And I agree with you. But now, time after time, and I've watched, and I know it's the heat of the moment is a big factor in all these situations. But I have seen very, very questionable police shootings where I just think the cops murdered people.
Well, it's like the guy that had a license to carry. I think he's a black guy. He was in the front seat of the car. His girlfriend's driving, or his wife, I'm not sure. But the cop comes up to the passenger window and he tells him, he goes, look, I've got a carry license and I'm armed. So what's he got to do? The cop, he pulls his gun out and he shoots the guy and kills him. He bleeds to death right there. She's filming it live on Facebook or something.
I've seen that, yeah.
And here this guy is bleeding out and just been shot by the cop. What he tried to tell him that he was armed and he reached in and that's all it took, and the guy blew him away right there. He shot him.
Well, now, you know, when you are a concealed carry holder, you have a responsibility too, and that is to make sure that officer don't feel threatened. And the first thing you do is you keep your hands where that police officer can see them. The second thing, kind of simultaneously, you inform that officer that you have concealed carry. But you obey his orders. You do what he says.
That's just it. He didn't order him to do anything.
You know.
He didn't know.
Yeah,
About the same time he said that, he shot him.
Yeah. Now, I mean, these guys, some of them, they jumped the gun, Dave. And folks, I'm having all kind of difficulty.
Yeah, we'll
on
get it
this
straightened
stupid
out.
phone. And all right. Hello, this is Unscheduled. Les Skymo. Could I have your first name and your state you're calling from, please?
Yeah, Les, this is Donald from Franklin, Ohio. How you doing tonight?
Hey, man, what do you say, brother? I've had all kinds of problems with these phones.
Well, I just wanted to call and let you guys know that I just got in reading a report that congressional lawmakers just approved President Trump's military parade, so they will be parading our military down the streets of Washington, brother.
All right. Now, you know, I'm all for that, Donald.
No tanks, though. They're not allowed.
I wanted to call and let you know. I know I talked to you about it, and I just wanted to call and let you guys know that night on your show.
Yeah, brother, I appreciate it. Did you call 2 times before? Did you try to get through?
I called once before last they wouldn't come through.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what's going on here. I think my old phone, this old flip phone of mine, is about to die. I think I'm going to be forced to buy a smartphone, I think. But, you know, yeah.
Well, it's working out. I can hear you, Les, so I just wanted to call and let you know that about President Trump's military parade, man. You're doing a great job. You got a great show, Les. Thanks, man.
Well, hey, Donald, I appreciate that, brother. Right on, man. I'm all for that, buddy. Thank you, Donald.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Now, we'll just have to Bluetooth it.
That sounded all right.
It did, yeah.
We could hear him.
Yeah. But now, we'll talk about that in a minute. I want to finish this subject here. But, you know, I understand police officers have tough jobs. They're getting killed. 30-something police officers already, I think, been killed, murdered. And my sympathy goes out to them, Dave. But, you know, I'm behind good, clean, constitutional law enforcement. I'm behind good cops. I've had my experience with punk cops when I've obeyed them. I tell you, I had one up in Vandalia. If he'd have been in civilian clothes to talk to me that way, I'd have mopped the parking lot up with that punk. And I mean, he started that nonsense right off the bat, trying to escalate the situation so he could arrest me. Beat me up and arrest me. That's what they do. I've got a friend of mine that I watched a video. This guy handling this drug dog, and I seen him make a funny noise and make a funny move. I got a friend of mine that's a police officer, and so I asked him one time, next time I seen him, and I asked him, I said, hey, let me ask you something. I said, can these dog handlers, these police officers that have these canines, can they trigger them dogs when there's no drugs or nothing? He said, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He said, absolutely.
Sure can.
He said, there's 2 dogs in the county that we use, and one of them we don't use anymore because of that. He said, every time we use that dog, there's drugs found in a car. And that dog goes off. He says, we know better than that. And we don't use his dog no more. That he abuses his authority. Now, what burns me, them police officers should be thrown in prison for that stuff right there, Dave. Because they try to escalate the situation just so they can beat somebody up or just so they can shoot somebody. You've got cops out there like that. And there's a case right now, I forget where it's at, this cop and this woman, she's a woman police officer, her body cam picked up the whole thing. It was called to this 7-Eleven, okay, and they called on this guy. They wanted him to leave for some reason or another. So this guy's sitting on the bench on a bus stop or something. This cop just walks up to him, man, and starts threatening to whip him and just going up and down one side of him and down the other. The woman cop's got her body cam on, filming it. She turns him in. They fire her over that. Now, you tell me that they ain't corrupt cops. Now, them kind of cops, you know, they're dirt bags in my book. But for good, clean law enforcement, they could have nobody better than me to support them if they're straight up good cops. And even a good cop can make a mistake, Dave, and shoot somebody when they shouldn't shoot them. And that's not what I'm talking about. But I'm just, you know, I don't watch that show Cops on TV. I see so much abuse on that. I don't watch that show. You know, you know, I don't like to see people treated the way some of these police officers treat people. But on the other hand, a lot of people deserve what they get. You know, but when you get pulled over or when you get approached by a police officer, just comply.
Yeah.
Just
So all
comply.
you got to do is just do what they ask you to do.
And if they do something wrong, go get you a lawyer and take it to the judge, you know. And but the police officer gives you commands for his own safety. Obey him. Do what he says.
Well, it's actually for both of your safeties.
No, that's true.
If you don't comply with what he's asking you to do, he's going to think you've just done something. You might be fleeing a robbery or whatever, or you might be who knows what.
Cause suspicion.
You
sure.
might be an escaped criminal. You could
Right.
be anything. You could be
Right.
on the run. You
Yeah.
could have a warrant out. Because just because they call your number in on your car before they get out of the car, that doesn't mean they don't know who's driving that car
Right.
until they come up and check your license.
But
They walk up to that car, they say the car's been stolen
Right.
or was involved in a robbery or
Right.
who knows what. They get a want and a warrant. It comes up on their screen. This is so-and-so person. But they don't know who's driving that car. They don't know what they're thinking. So they're going to probably most likely call for backup.
Right. But do you know it has been ruled by the Supreme Court that it is unlawful for a police officer to just drive around and randomly run tag numbers? That's without suspicion?
Well, they've got that one device
That's
that
illegal
runs
search
numbers
and seizure.
automatically. You've seen them on the back of the police car.
Yeah.
It looks at your license plate
If
and runs your number.
they're only legally supposed to do that only if they're suspicious of something. Now, that's a broad brush.
Well, just
you
like
know.
I used to work a job where I worked at night.
You know.
Used to have to go in late, and I drive on my way over there. I had a headlight out, and I seen a highway patrolman come by me. He went flying by, and he said, "Uh-oh!" I got a light out. He's gonna probably come around. So he stopped. I seen him turning around. He's coming up behind me. Put his lights on. I pulled over. He said, "You know the first question he asked me?
What's that?
He goes, 'How much have you had to drink tonight?'" I said, "Well, I don't drink. I haven't had anything." He said, "Where are you going?" I go, "I'm going to work." He goes, "You know you have a headlight out?" I go, "Yeah, I know." He said, "I suggest you get it fixed. I'm not going to write you a warning ticket right now, but I want you to get that fixed. So the next time I see you come through here, you better have it fixed."
Yeah.
But think about that. A cop can lie to you.
Oh, yeah.
They can tell you
Oh, yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
and basically it's legal.
But you can't lie to them.
Oh, you can lie to them.
You
It's
can
not-
lie,
Only
but
ones you can't lie to that's a crime is the FBI.
Yeah.
Federal. The federal boys you can't lie to. So that's what got Martha Stewart arrested.
Right. Yeah.
They put her in
yeah.
jail for lying to an
The
FBI
FBI,
agent, though they never got her on any set crime. And that's exactly what they want to get Donald Trump with.
Oh, yeah.
Lying,
Exactly. Under
perjury,
oath.
under oath.
Yeah. Right.
And that's exactly what they
Right.
want. And Rudy Giuliani and the rest of them are smart enough to know that we're not going to let him do that.
Yeah.
I hope they don't let him talk. I just
I
hope they
wouldn't
don't. I want
hope
to see it to
so.
go to the Supreme
It's
Court.
set up, man.
They
it's
say,
a setup.
well, we're going to go to court. Well, good. Go. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, this is a coup. It's a soft coup, Dave. They're trying to overthrow a duly elected president. And for you law enforcement officers, hey, I love you. God bless you. I hope y'all do get home safe and sound. Okay, but be good cops and police yourself. Turn the bad cops in. That's all I ask, Dave. Turn the bad cops in. Burn them. They don't need to be cops. You're watching them break the law. You're watching them abuse your citizenry. Turn your partners in. Whoever's doing it, turn them in. Be good cops. And you know, but I do respect you, and God bless you, but be good cops. That's all I ask. And on that note right there, I hope I've redeemed myself.
But you know what amazes me is that I think it was a federal judge gave the Trump administration a deadline to reunite all these kids with their parents.
Ridiculous.
I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute now. You're telling the feds they got to reunite. What are you going to do if they say no?
Yeah.
We're not going to do it. Who are you going to get?
Yeah.
And who are you going to arrest?
Right.
And she might be a federal judge, but who's going to who they going to go arrest?
Yeah. Right. But see, I don't think she had the authority to do that.
See, that's the way these judges are, though. They make a ruling and it affects the entire country.
Yeah. Right.
And that's
But
ridiculous.
see, they make impossible mandates on a situation like that. What are you going to do? Just turn these kids loose? Dave, there's thousands of them that's already coming in with sex traffickers. They turn them loose. Obama turned hundreds of them loose to sex traffickers, people they didn't know who they was turning them loose to. And you just can't turn them loose with anybody. Most of these children are unaccompanied that come across that border. What are you going to do with them, Dave?
It's like a senator from Hawaii. You probably saw it on the news. She asked a question of somebody in the Trump administration and immigration.
She's from Hawaii, wasn't she?
Yeah, she's from Hawaii. She said, well, it's Trump's law. And he goes, excuse me, it's not. It's federal law. And he explained the law to her, made her look like an idiot.
Yeah, she made her own stuff because
She goes, that's federal law. They're breaking the law when you come into this country illegally. You can't do that. And if you got kids with you, they're going to take the kids away from you, and they're going to put you in jail where you belong because you've broken the law already.
Right.
As soon as you walk across that border,
should be a felony, Dave.
They're trying to make it a felony.
It should be a felony.
It should be, because our country. It's just like if somebody breaks into your house, is that a felony? You betcha.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's a felony.
If they live long enough to make it court,
if they break into your house, it's a felony. Why not have the same rules apply when they break into our country?
What's the difference?
There's no difference.
But they want to do away with ICE. But now I tell you what, you do away with ICE. I didn't know this, okay, until I done some research today. But they work with Homeland Security, and they work with several other organizations for child sex trafficking. There's a thing called Operation Predator, and they work with them. They got a cybercrime center, and the Homeland Security, ICE, and other organizations, they work through that, Dave, to rescue these children and to arrest these pedophiles and these sex traffickers. And ICE is a big participant of that. And this exploration of children, it's called the Child Exploration Investigations Unit. And it includes Homeland Security, it includes ICE, and other organizations that take care of these, that try to stop this human trafficking. Mm-hmm. And it's coming from across the border. And they have arrested, now Homeland Security, let me read this a little bit here to you, Dave. El Paso, Texas, special agents with the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and Homeland Security Investigations and agents with the U.S. Border Patrol. They arrested 18 alien smugglers and seized cash, vehicles, more than 1,000 pounds of marijuana. They arrested 2 U.S. citizens who were among the alien smugglers who were arrested and charged with alien smuggling. That's your traffickers. One guy was aggravated stalking, kidnapping, possessing a deadly weapon, and marijuana with the intent to distribute. Agents arrested 117 illegal aliens, which included the following criminals. And the list goes on and on. A lot of these are drunk drivers, Dave. Now, this one, they busted this one bunch. The month-long enforcement action resulted in the arrest of illegal aliens in an area, stash houses. And there was 93 Mexicans, there was 12 Guatemalans, 6 Hondurans, 3 Brazilians, 2 from El Salvador, and 1 from Peru. They seized 9 vehicles, 3 tractor trailers, and $20,000 in Mexican and American currency. Now, you tell me that you want to get rid of the law enforcement agency that's stopping this stuff from coming into our country? Here's the thing, Dave. These people, not all of them, but the criminals are coming along right with the good people. You can't look at one of them and tell that's a bad guy, that's a good guy. You can't tell the difference from looking. Okay, these criminals, our country's full of these criminals that come right along with the good people. And they don't want to assimilate. They didn't come here to be Americans. Okay, they come here to be criminals. They come here to do the same thing they done in their own country. It's getting harder and harder for them to do this stuff in their own country because everything's already been stolen, or it's already been, the mafia has it, the drug cartels has it. They don't want to change their ways, Dave, and make an honest living. They want to come over here and traffic kids. They want to come over here and kill Americans, rob Americans. Every time you turn around, there's illegals that's killing Americans, robbing stores. And it just goes on and on and on. They've got them for voter fraud. There's no end to it unless President Trump puts a stop to it. And the Republicans, every one of the Democrats, none of them will support closing them borders down, Dave. None of them.
The reason is, think about this, if they were all Republicans coming across the border, they couldn't, they'd be building a wall 100 feet high.
They wouldn't
if there was a bunch of Republicans trying to get into this country to vote, they know that these people are going to be voting for them, and they're future voters in their eyes. That's exactly why they let them in, and that's why they know that if they become dependent upon the government, who are they going to vote for?
Right.
Because they get welfare, food stamps, whatever, and free health care,
right?
More so than a U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
This is what amazes me. They get free education. Man. They don't have to pay any tuition sometimes in states like California. This is crazy that they get priority over Americans, U.S. citizens. And, I think a lot of Mexicans that have migrated over here, they're kind of fed up with it, too.
Oh, yeah, the legal ones are.
They just look what we had to go through to get here.
Exactly.
And all the people that legally came here, they don't much like it that people jump in line ahead of them.
Yeah.
It takes 6, 7, 8 years to become a U.S. citizen. And all of a sudden, they automatically get let in. The kids get taken care of. Nice schools, nice playground to play in, food, 3 meals a day. They got it made. And that's probably more than what they had where they came out of.
Yeah.
So it's free stuff.
Right. Oh, yeah, it is. Let me read this to you, brother. State and local welfare programs that refugees and asylum seekers can apply for include, but are not limited to, housing assistance, English as a second language, special education programs, job training and employment service assistance, social service programs, immigration assistance programs, green card applications, citizenship applications, and petitions for relatives to immigrate into the United States, supplemental Social Security income, Social Security disability, Child Care and Development Fund, job opportunities for low-income individuals, low-income housing, home energy assistance programs, and it goes on and on and on. Earned income tax credit and additional child tax credit. Did you know under the Obama administration, Dave, 5 million illegal aliens got Social Security checks? You believe that?
I'd like to know how they do it without a Social Security card. How do
They bust them in to get. They bust them.
How can they do that?
They bust them to the Social Security office and issue them cards.
But see, that should be illegal because you can't do that.
Hey, you ain't supposed to do that, but
Well,
they do. Obama done that, brother.
It's just like if you become a U.S. citizen, that's when you get issued a Social Security number.
Yeah.
Because even if you're have a green card and you're on a work visa over here, you still pay into the U.S. tax.
Mm-hmm.
You still pay taxes.
Yeah. Well,
And
wow. We got 1 minute, brother. Go ahead. Yeah.
What I was going to say is that it shouldn't be legal, and I don't think it really was.
Yeah, it
though
wasn't.
they bent the rules.
It wasn't. It wasn't legal at all.
Our Muslim buddy, he bent the rules for that
Yeah.
one.
Well, Dave, here we are again, man. This went faster than I thought. I got a whole pile of stuff here.
I'll get it next week.
We'll get it next week. But, folks, thank you for listening in. Donald, thank you for calling, man. But God bless y'all. And we will see you next week. Same time, same channel. Thank you, Facebook listeners. God bless everybody. And, Dave, you got anything to say? We're about
I
to
say
go.
you all have a good one. We'll see you next week.
All right. Hey, this is Les Skymo and the Dave Unscheduled, and we're out of here. God bless you. See you next time.
Revolution, gun control the sound. So shooting rockets to the moon, kids growing up too soon. Politicians say more taxes will solve everything. And the band played on.